Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nxtgen DTM World Tour. Round 4 in Germany at the wonderful Nurburgring circuit, the GP circuit, as we know it since 1984. Here we see the boys making it through their qualification. We are just 10 minutes in the qualification and we see Arki in a commanding lead over Holtman, Ganzi, Scooby G, Jelly Richards, Jester, Blue Nose, Shadow Stalker and Big Sykester, Dre and Wheel Whiz don't have a time set yet. Neither has Knekelman, but Knekelman will be your host tonight at this round 4 DTM in the DTM World Tour Series hosted by Nxtgen. Last week was a beautiful, beautiful battle for second, as we remember, and a beautiful victory by Arki. So Arki last time the winner. And I think the top 3 was Haltman in a second over Scooby. That completes the top 3. And if we take a look at the current standings in the World Tour, we see that Haltman is still leading with 78 points. Arki is following close on 73 points. Scooby G is still in with a chance at 59 points. And then a bit further down, but a very tight fight for fourth between Jester with 41 points, Jelly Richards with 40 points and Blue Gobi with 39 points. So only 2 points differ for fourth, fifth and sixth in the standings. And to complete the top 10 we have Blue Nose 7th with 36 points, closely followed by Shadow Stalker with 35 points. And then comes Ganzi with 27 points and Dark Sykes with 19 points. Of course, we know of last week that Ganzi lost out on some vital points there by not making it to the end of the race, so he will be in for a revenge. He will be very keen on having some decent result tonight. Currently, Ganzi is managing a third fastest with a 1:52, so strong going there by Ganzi. Meanwhile, we still have a couple of people not set a time yet, and we have a disconnection. It seems we lost a driver. I hope. I thought we were with 13 competitors earlier. I could be wrong. Let's check out later. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, halfway qualification to this round 4 in the DTM at the wonderful Nurburgring. It was originally built, of course, it wasn't a Grand Prix track at all, but it was a big north loop. It was kind of a testing track for the German car industry. And it was built originally in the 20s around the village and medieval castle of Nurburgring in the Eifel Mountains. And I believe the North Loop is about 20 kilometers, so 12.9 miles long. And it has more than 300 meters of elevation change from its highest and its lowest point. So that is the classic Nordschleife, the North Loop, and Jackie Stewart famously called it the Green Hell, so he coined that phrase, the Green Hell. And originally it had 4 configurations. The original track had a Gesamtstrecke, the whole course of 17 miles, 17 and a half miles. It consisted of the Nordschleife, the North Loop, about 14.1 miles, and it also consisted of the Südschleife, the South Loop, good for another 4.8 miles, excuse me. And there was also a 1.4 mile warm-up loop, and they called that the Zahlschleife, so the finish loop, or the concrete loop, the Betonschleife. And that was situated around the pit area. So basically, between 82 and 83, it was that Zahlschleife and the old pit lane was demolished, and they created the GP Strecke more or less as we know it. So with minor changes from 1984 on, as we know now, we have the track, which is about 3.5 miles. We have some action going on here. Camdis making it into the barrier, but he's back on track. So yeah, there's a little history for you. So now we are racing on the current GP circuit, originating from the early 80s, of course, because it was the Nordschleife was deemed too dangerous. We all know the famous race in 1976, the year James Hunt became a world championship Formula 1. Of course, we had the famous Niki Lauda accident where the current Mercedes advisor, suffered that horrific accident and fire in 76. And that's why until 97, know your vintage video games, until 97, the Formula 1 was held at Hockenheim, of course. But since 1984, we know the GP circuit was a little bit extended in 84 with the Mercedes arena, because before it was a very fast left. We will follow the current car on track. We will follow Camdis and we'll make it through the first turn, known as Castrol S. And here the original track you see went to the left, and now we are in the Mercedes arena. That's turn 2. Turn 3 is this loop. Turn 4 is the right-hander going into 5 and making it on the RTL straight. Hard braking for 6. And then a right, turn 7, the fourth curve. Making it downhill towards turn 8, known as the Dunlopkeren. This is the Dunlopkeren, a carousel-like slingshot that slings you through the Michael Schumacher S. So turns 9 and 10, the chicane. Here's the Schumacher S, clearly in the picture. And then we make it to the hairpin turn 11, hard braking to the left. Great job by Camdis, by the way. And then we make it to the Bitkurve, turn 12. And then, after a little off, we make it on the Hudson-Beetsbogen, this slow, this acute bend. And then we come through the Vidal chicane. Here we go through the Vidal chicane, turns 14 and 15. And then the last turn, Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola curve, turn 16 brings us back on the straight. Let's see if Camdis could correct his time. No, his off earlier was probably the culprit of his time being cancelled. So at the top, no change, not much difference. We see Arki leading Holtman with 11 minutes to go. And then we see Ganzi, Scooby, Jelly Richards, Jester, Blue Nose, Camdis, Shadow Stalker, Wheelie, and with a 2-minute lap time that I'm sure will become a better time soon, we see Dre. Dre 81 with maybe a slight, yeah, how shall I say, unfortunate middle name. Oh, some action on the track, ladies and gentlemen. We will see this during the race, no doubt. But again, we will hope that all racers, all drivers keep their cars out of bumping and crashing into each other. Because here at Nxtgen, we stand for clean and fair racing. So I don't know the attendance figures, but this venue, it has a 150,000 people capacity. It is the Motors Complex Nurburgring, located in the Rhineland-Palatinate in Germany, of course. We're at the Grand Prix track, not to be confused with the publicly known Nordschleife, the green hell, of course, next to this beautiful and connected to this beautiful GP circuit as well. Camdis made it up to 7, Blue Nose in 6th. We have 8.5 minutes on the clock. Jester in the pit lane with a 153 in 5th. Jelly Richards in a strong 4th with a 153.5. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this car. No doubt Jelly Richards gets the award for the most stunning paint job of all. Beautiful reflection in the afternoon German sun. And Jelly Richards just made it to 3. Top 3, yes. Second place, and also bettering himself. He was earlier on a 52.4, I believe, and he already, Paul Haltman, Mr. Haltman at 152, challenging the only person currently in the 51s, Arki, winner last time out in Barcelona. And let me condole all the citizens of Barcelona in these troubled times. Our heart goes out to them and all involved, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, I will hereby... Oh, what do we see? We see FRT Haltman, who just looked to be condemned to a second place starting position, just annihilated the time of Arki. So he's currently on a 151, ladies and gentlemen, 151.6 for Haltman and a 151.7 for Arki, ladies and gentlemen. This is mounting up to be an exciting race. Of course, this is a narrow, twisty-turny track. Sometimes there is room, but as you can see, a lot of hairpins with stop-and-go action. Let's follow Arki through the lap. No, he lost some speed there. Maybe warming the tires still, I don't know. Gonna keep an eye on the times because these last 5 minutes we might see some changes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Philip Ozier, also known as Knekelman. I will take a short break and I will shortly be back commentating on this round 4 in the DTM World Tour. I'll be right back. And with the last minute of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I'm your host, Philip Ozier, also known as Knekelman, here at the DTM World Tour, where we see Arki hit the grass, but he managed to grab pole. Since Haltman is in the garage, also Scooby in third in the garage. Jelly Richards, maybe? No, he just retired. Camd is still on track, but he won't be able to finish his lap, I'm afraid. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth round of this DTM World Tour, with pole position to Arki. And let's make a little picture of our screen for later during the race. Then we know our starting positions. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Round 4. Let's see whether everybody is making it clean to the first turn. Little incidents left and right in the pack. We're gonna follow the general feed, and we see in first position Arki, our pole sitter, closely followed by Haltman, Scooby, Jelly Richards, Gansi, Camdis and Jester, and the rest of the pack. Everything is still going on clean. Up front, close racing, making it through the Dunlop Kere towards the Michael Schumacher S for the first time. Some action between Jelly Richards and Gansi already. And completing the first chicane, the Vedal. Then the Coca-Cola curve slingshot on the straight with Arki in first. Closely followed by Haltman, Scooby G and Gansi in fourth. Fifth Shadow Stalker. Sixth Jelly Richards. Seventh Camdis, closely followed by Wheelie. Blue Nose in ninth, closely followed by Jester. So some changes, ladies and gentlemen, in that first lap. And Dre back. Oh, there we have a little off by Camdis. This boy will be furious. He will be fuming underneath that visor. He will be throwing all his toys out of the pram. Not to mention what he will do with the goldfish. So Camdis has a job on his hand to make it back up the field. Dre in the left. And there the fight for seventh between Blue Nose and Wheelie. And close battles, ladies and gentlemen, in our first group as well. But oh, Wheelie and Jester, green Jester. Oh, we sadly have a disconnection. Scooby G disconnected, Gansi disconnected. Scooby G joined again. What is this, ladies and gentlemen? Gansi joined. Shadow Stalker and Jelly Richards going at it for fifth. Gansi in fourth. Scooby G second. And here is our leading duo. Haltman closely following Arki, so we're on board with Haltman. But we keep an eye on these fights in the pack, ladies and gentlemen. Let me quickly try to look for the pack. For the action for 5th, there we have Jello Richards going to plant an overtake on Shadow Stalker, who's touching Jello Richards. He has to back off. He wisely does. So Shadow Stalker is trying to stalk Jello Richards' shadow. Let's keep an eye on the front battle as well, ladies and gentlemen. While this battle seems to simmer down a bit, we have Haltman following Arki very close and bettering his lap time. We just saw on the little on-screen his lap session was green. Once again, we make it through the Vedol and up to the Coca-Cola curve, where we saw the entrance to the Nordschleife, and we're back on the straight. For lap 4. We have some fierce battling going on again, ladies and gentlemen. For 8, Blue Nose with a very late break on the tail of Wheelie. These cars give exciting races, ladies and gentlemen. They're very light on the tail, especially with the DRS down. You can see the wing in the back. This wing is operated by the driver on the straights, like this little straight. You want to put your wing down to get top acceleration and top speed. Heavy on the braking, and then you see how loose these cars get. They take tremendous effort to drive and to keep on the black stuff. Beautiful battle for 6th between Blue Nose, Wheelie and Shadow Stalker, and Jello Richards now with a comfortable lead over Shadow Stalker. So something must have happened earlier that Jello Richards suddenly went down from 4th to 6th. I think he might even have been 7th for a little while. Meanwhile, I can clearly see Gonzi in no man's land, Scooby G likewise, and Haltman stalking the back, the rear end of Arki. Of course, these two guys are battling it out in the championship as well, with Haltman currently leading the standings. And just 5 points down, we find Arki in 2nd, and now the roles are reversed, just like last week's race was won by Arki. But this is no means over. By no means this is over. Checkered flag and all that, fat ladies and all that, for those who are interested. Others might want to look away. But when those ladies sing, we can open the champagne. Let's look at our battle for 5th and 6th again. Fifth in no man's land, Jello Richards, but 6th, Shadow Stalker now is, his shadow is stalked by the likes of Wheelie, who's going strong in 7th, closely followed by Blue Nose. Blue Nose in the sister car. Commentator's nightmare, of course, same colors. So Blue Nose up in 7th. Can he hold on through de bitcurve onto the Hudson Bates Bogen? Now, of course, slipstreaming is Wheelie. Heartbreaking for Vedel. Chicane. Yes, no time penalties. Clean. Nice. And through Coca-Cola onto the straight for the completion of lap 5. Nice battle for 6th position between Wheelie, Blue Nose, and of course Shadow Stalker. Jello Richards is doing a 153.4, where we saw Shadow Stalker, his challenger, in doing 155 mid. So we might say Jello Richards, he has now the fight with himself, his demon, to stay on the track, not making little errors, and he might get a very strong top 5 position after last weekend's disappointment, one might say. We see in 4th Ganzi, who is definitely improving on last week, where he had to retire early in the race. He's doing 153 as well, but a 153.3, so 1/10 up on Jello Richards. We see Scooby in a 152.6, but also currently not tipping the 151.9 of Haltman, who is still hunting down. Oh, Haltman, as we speak, had a time penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our fight of the race between 1st and 2nd. A 151.5 lap time didn't save Haltman. He will be eating his own tongue. He will be biting his steering wheel. Let's hope he won't be beating his wife. Let's hope he's not throwing his kid through the window. Now Arki, his fastest lap is only 151.5, so he's 3/10 down to Haltman's fastest lap. Might we see Holtman on one of his famous coming back from behind? We have 14 laps, ladies and gentlemen, to find out here at the Nurburgring in Germany, round 4 of the DTM World Tour. As we see the leaders losing connection to each other, we see, of course, Holtman trying to make up lost ground, but we see now Scooby G really approaching Haltman. Of course, Haltman is although he's driving a blue and yellow car, it is a carrot. It is a blue and yellow carrot, a Swedish carrot to Scooby, who is of course still looking for some extra time, because his lap times cannot match the fast lap times of Haltman for the time being. Don't count out Ganzi, of course. As we have seen in last season, a strong contester, also taking part in the races, in the champion races, in the race of champions by Nxtgen, where all the different champions of the different leagues, the 1st and 2nd places, battled it out in a extravaganza of 4 or 5 races. Please keep an eye on that race as well, ladies and gentlemen, further down the season, at the end of the season to be correctly So Scooby G looking for Holtman. But of course Holtman, the alien he is, already took off in his spaceship, trying to find the Arky way, the Milky Way of Arky. Your host, I'm sorry, is Ghost Stalker. Your host is becoming poetic since the action on track has stabilized a bit. It is now a matter of bringing these beautiful cars home, staying clear from danger, and we see another retirement, ladies and gentlemen. We see the retirement of Dre. Dre retiring to the pits. And as we speak, I just picked up a nice little battle between Jester and Shadowstalker, of course. So Shadowstalker is stalked by Jester now. Is it just for laughs, or will he go ahead pressurizing Shadow? And it's all in a technical circuit as this, when we see them making it on the Hudson Beats Bogen towards Vedal chicane. On circuits like this, it is of course a question of pressurizing. There we saw Shadowstalker go a little bit too deep in the turn, and we get Jester, of course. He's not laughing. He's taking this chance through Coca-Cola on the straight. Jester up in 8 after a tremendous overtake there, of course, helped a little bit by Shadowstalker's little mistake, who is now not, of course, with the knife between his teeth, trying to make up, and he thinks the better of it. Both racers are on track. This is what we like to see. People can try, but people have to think before they drive and think the better of it if it looks like a wishful Valhalla move. We will now strongly advise against the wishful Valhalla moves. Only in Valhalla these moves will go through. But last time I checked, we are not dead Vikings. None of us is. So let's keep it civilized. And tremendous racing by Jester and Shadow. Now Shadow is closely followed by Wheelie. And let's see how that unfolds, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, we do have confirmation that Dre pulled off and retired to the pit lane. So we're gonna make it up. Lap with 11 laps to go, so this is lap 10. Arky is again closely followed by Holtman, so we see Holtman Galtman doing his name good again, the golden comeback boy. The man that likes to come from behind. I wonder what kind of beautiful birthday pictures our Holtman man is gonna get after the remark of your host. Anywho, Holtman doing a tremendous job chasing down his fellow competitor Arky. And don't forget, these two guys are also currently leading the championship, with Holtman being first with 4 points up. Now reverse roles during this race. And who can stay out of trouble? Who can stay out of making little mistakes? And let's look at the field as we see things currently developing. It is doubtful that back markers will be in the way, since the field is quite strong and not at all being lapped. Maybe in the latter stage of this race, with now 10 laps to go. We see Arki crossing in first, followed by Holtman. Scooby G still has them in sight. Good job by Scooby, who is now also running 52.3, so he knocked off half a second of his best lap time. We see Gonzi now really also pounding down a 53.0, so he's going down the time scales. So he's doing consistent laps. Might get back to Scooby, who knows. We see Jella Richards with the most beautiful silver coloring and some orange accents, no doubt honoring his country. Of course, the Dutchman Jella Richards. One of my Dutch friends has told me that Jella Richards actually means yellow driver and is pronounced gele rijders. No man's land for him, also no man's land it seems for Blue Nose. Yes. Not too much lonely, because Camdis is following only 1.5 seconds down. As I take a look on the timesheet, 1.2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So in with a strong chance for sixth is Camdis, keeping it clean through the S's. Heartbreaking for Bitkurve. And making it through Bitkurve on the Hudson Beats Bogen. This acute right-hander. Strong braking for the chicane called Vedol. And then hard accelerating down the Coca-Cola and timing the opening of that DRS wing, that rear wing. Sad that we don't get that animation going on the chase cam, I don't believe, because now the wing is down, and then when the brake lights go on, no, we don't see the animation. We really hope Project Cars 2 will have fixed this little. There we see an illogic opening of the, I'm sure the pilot didn't open his wing there, so the animation of the wing is also not currently consistent with reality, I would say. So nice little battle here. Let's see what's going on upfield. Oh, the top two is still battling it out, but safe to say there is still some distance between them. I look at the timesheets, they still have 2.5 seconds adrift from each other, but I see another person, ladies and gentlemen, in the pit lane, which is Wheelie. Wheelie also went back to the pit, so this gives us a 9th Shadow Stalker, who couldn't keep on to a strong performance in the beginning and who seems to drift further down. But great effort nevertheless, and on his way to some good decent points. In 8th, Jester, he keeps Shadow Stalker at bay with a good 6 seconds. But of course Jester is following Camdis for 12 seconds, and as we can see, Camdis is now challenging Blue Nose in lap 12 of this Nurburgring GP round 4 DTM race. Some grass there for Blue Nose. Stay off the grass, I would say, boys and girls. Keep it clean. And what can Camdis do now that Blue Nose radiator is full of grass? Can he do the switchback? Yes, and again, now be smart about this and full on the throttle. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in with a chance here. Play chicken, but keep it clean, boys. Beautiful. This is what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we want to see. And again on the gas, no time penalty. No, he was probably a little bit short shifting. Who is to say who is the fastest? Keep it clean. Blue Nose with a tight line. Camdis with a wider line is of course the faster line. So Blue Nose can't make it back through the Schumacher S. Climbing uphill. Oh, Camdis went wide. Blue Nose. We're playing ping pong here for position. Both drivers, tremendous concentration, but just one little lapsus of concentration and you can see your competitor disappear in the distance as Camdis is now eating his shoe. Beautiful braking though, in with a chance here. Now through Coca-Cola, slingshot on the straight, looking for that Blue Nose ass and trying to make it last time up. Let's see if we have to switch to another position, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna stay for now with this beautiful fight for sixth, brought to us by Blue Nose and Camdis. As they make it through the Mercedes arena safely. On RTL. The Dunlop keren, which basically means the Dunlop turnaround. And here we see Camdis trying to make it through the S's. That's dangerous. Thinks the better of it. Michael Schumacher S, where he went wide earlier, lost his position, but he's now clearly stronger than Blue Nose in this part of the track. But as we often see, some racers are better in the beginning, some in the middle, some in the end, and only a few are best overall. We can safely say that is the case with Arki and Haltman. Let's look. Arki and Haltman are currently still close by each other with a 2.4 seconds between them, 2.1 currently. And Camdis is trying to find that slipstream, wing down, maximum throttle. Hard brake for Castrol S. And the boys now in Mercedes arena. Turns 3, 4, 5, closely followed. Making it on the RTL back straight, little straight I should say, with a hard brake in turn 6 and turn 7 fourth curve, the fourth turn, making it towards the chicane, the Dunlop keren, the chicane, the hairpin I mean. Camdis still trying to make it, but good job by Blue Nose, who keeps his cool. Boys are making it up through the Schumacher S, where we clearly see a better line by Camdis and a higher top speed, but Blue Nose is making his car as wide as the nose of Michael Jackson, I wanted to say, but that would be making your car very narrow. He's making himself wide as possible, but I see Camdis really having a higher speed. Now, danger in the chicane, thinks the better of it, does not collect the time penalty, and both boys live another day. This is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the action on track. Oh, what happened there? Close racing, of course, can cause little incidents, ladies and gentlemen. Both guys are still continuing their race as we have 5 laps to go. Only 5 laps to go in this round 4 of the DTM World Tour at Nurburgring GP. This tremendous battle, ladies and gentlemen. I had to drink a little bit for my voice because I was getting a dry voice from talking so much and being so excited by this beautiful race between Camdis and Blue Nose. And it's not always the first position or the crashes that are important, or we genuinely like bumper to bumper action in all fairness, and it gives exciting races. I mean, who can fault these guys? Who can fault this tremendous battle between the two great competitors? I think no one can. So through the field, Jester also retired. Sadly enough, Jester retired. So Shadow Stalker back up to 8. And just try to continue and you will get some good points is also, of course, a motto of motor racing. You have to finish before you can win. You have to finish before you can score. With 4 laps to go, Shadow Stalker in 8, Camdis in 7 still, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost impossible to leave this battle. Camdis up to 6th. Little mistake there by Blue Nose. That's all that it takes, ladies and gentlemen. Little lock up by Camdis and Blue Nose again up his tail. I think these boys are going to entertain us for the rest of the race, and they're both are going wide. Hard braking after RTL in turn 6. Now the right-hander 4th, making it towards the Dunlop hairpin. Camdis now in 6th, trying to get rid of Blue Nose, who is like sticking to him as glue. The mucus from Blue Nose is just sticking to the bumper of Camdis, who's now really trying to use his strong Schumacher-S ability to make way, but no, Blue Nose is a good apprentice because he knows the strength of Camdis by now, of course, but also his weakness. I'm gonna dare to do a quick walk through the field as we see Jello Richards in 5th with the most beautiful silver reflective car. And Charlie Whiting just called us. Yes, it is official. This is the most beautiful colored DTM Coupe Mercedes that we have on today's race. So congratulations and an honorable mention for Jello Richards in 5th. In the one and only Silver Arrow on track. And then Gonzi, we haven't seen much of Gonzi. I mean, I'm sorry, Gonzi, you were kind of, and you still are, in a literal no man's land. If Germany were a desert, you would be the camel, you would be the caravan, you would be Lawrence of Arabia. Scooby G. What can I say? Scooby never really was able to hold on for 2nd, but is leading Gonzi, so he's doing a tremendous job here with a bronze, with a 3rd position, with a little Okay, his cup will be a little bit smaller. They will humiliate him by putting him on a podium, which is of course also smaller than first and second. But anyway, Scooby G, tremendous job. In second, Holtman. Where is Arki? There is Arki. We can see him in the distance, and that's not good news for our Holtman. It means that we saw it kind of during my broadcast, slowly but surely lost connection to our leader Arki with only 2 laps to go. So I'm gonna quickly look at Camdis and Shadowstalker. No, Camdis, Jello Richards. We have no more battles. Shadowstalker in 7th. That is of course because somebody left the lobby. We don't like this. We're gonna have to have a talk to that person. So now I am not sure anymore how it's working. Yes, Shadowstalker is in 7th, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for my confusion. I am missing somebody. Camdis is in 6th. Blue Nose, ladies and gentlemen, do we see Blue Nose? No, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Nose is offline. I am afraid that was a disconnection, or else we will hear it in the debriefing or in the press conference. No doubt Charlie Whiting will have a talk to Blue Nose after such a tremendous battle, ladies and gentlemen. We miss Blue Nose in our competition here. Jello Richards, Silver Arrow in 5th, Ganzi in 4th, making it home. Scooby G in 3rd. And with our last lap to go, ladies and gentlemen, we see Holtman desperately seeking Susan, also known as Arki, making it through the Mercedes arena for the very last time. But I'm afraid Arki is disappearing in the distance. More and more we are making it through the Dunlop curve. For our last time we will see the track through the eyes, through the front bumper car camera of Holtman, chasing Arki. It ain't over till the fat lady drops the checkered undies, panties, underwear, all these names. And then of course panties is something else in the States, then it is in the UK, and I believe in one of the countries fanny is also underwear, or was it something else? I'm not sure of this. But now as we go through the Vedol chicane for the very last time, ladies and gentlemen, we have Arki making it another tremendous win. Closely followed by Holtman. Scooby G in 3rd, congratulations. Ganzi completing his last lap, and he did manage a 152. Ganzi, well done, in 4th. Jello Richards in the last chicane. One more time, the beautiful Silver Arrow dives into a gorgeous can of Coca-Cola. Onto the straight for the very last time. Jello Richards, congratulations with your top 5. Cam, this what a beautiful entertainment you gave us, the host and the audience. Your fight with Blue Nose was epic. Congratulations. I want to hear your reactions, and I want to read all about it in the comments later on. do visit our Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. Do become a member of our fantastic group, our Racing Leagues Nxtgen. You are welcome. So we see Shadow Stalker, our last car, to be finishing this fourth round of the DTM. Round 4 in the DTM World Tour, hosted by Nxtgen and live commentated on by Knekelman. Jester, you were doing well mid-race, so we're gonna have to hear at the press conference or at the little debrief or read it in the little posts on Facebook. What happened to Jester? What happened to Wheelie? What happened to Dre? What happened to Blue Nose? And here is your host, Knekelman, of course. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Well done to these guys who managed to entertain us for over half an hour with tremendous racing. I've been your host, Philip Ozier, also known as Knekelman. Please leave a like if you liked what you've seen, if you liked what you heard. Please comment if you have suggestions to make things better for you and me and us. Because love is a verb that we have to use together. I have been your host. And before anyone kicks me out of this fantastic league for lewd remarks or the like, I will be signing off. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care and hope to see, hear and sniff you soon. Bye bye. Knekelman signing off.